Greetings, friends. The other day I walked out into my back deck and down the 3 steps to the backyard when my eye caught something moving. It was a small, dark, gray and white bird. He had been standing on a small patch of grass that was showing because the day before I ran my snowblower over it to make way for more snow that was coming. When he saw me, he became frightened and tried his best to flee. Something was wrong with his left wing because when he tried to fly, he was flapping wildly in his right wing, but dragging his left behind and running as fast across the snow as he could for safety. An injured bird knows that it is easy prey. I felt he had come out to find food, but his instinct to hide was stronger than his hunger, and he raced away, hopping wildly along the ground to the back fence. I wanted to go after him and help, but how do you help a bird that thinks you are the enemy? If that bird just knew how much I wanted to help him, but was not able, I had no way of communicating with him. I could have went after him and captured him, but I have done that before and they just die of fright, so there I was feeling sad because I wanted to help but couldn't, and there he was desperately needing my help, but not able to receive it. If he would just find a small amount of trust and come out and eat and take shelter, he would have the strength to heal. If only he would. It was an impasse what to do. I did what I could for a frightened, injured bird. I tossed as much bird food on the snow and the grassy patch as I could, hoping he would come out later and at least eat while he was getting better. But it was not to be. I don't know why, but for 2 days I worried about that tiny bird, injured, hidden somewhere in the remains of this year's flower garden, trying to get well so he could fly and be with his friends again. And that is when I had a thought about that bird. Myself, many people, we're all so badly injured with sin but don't know it, and how God is trying desperately to help us, but we always run away. And how God sends His Word to us, hoping we will take nourishment from these spiritual pages that He liberally spread on His green grass of His salvation, sent in the form of His Son. He did what He could for us. And if we could just trust enough to come out and read those pages, we would find the strength to be healed and would live. Another day went by and 4 inches of snow fell. It was about 10 at night, and since I had to pick up my wife from work later, she is a nurse's aide, I decided to go out and clean off the car, shovel the walk. I shoveled from the house to the car. It went fast as the snow was light and fluffy. I then decided to shovel from the front door to the neighbor's house. My first shovel of snow on the way back to the house had something dark in it. I wondered what it was. I looked closer under the street light, and there was the bird, frozen stiff and lifeless. He had made it as far as the front sidewalk, which was now covered, looking for an escape from that freezing, smothering snow. But a bird who cannot fly and won't take help is a bird that has no way to rise over the killing snow. The cold had did its job, and the last chance passed for that bird. But maybe his death was not in vain. If his death could be a lesson for us and cause one of us to find our true helper, stretch out our arms for help, and finally understand that God pines in His heart for each one of us, that we would be able to shed the sickness of sin and grow healthy and strong and not have to die that eternal death. And maybe, just maybe, that tiny bird's death had more meaning than his life. Maybe it was God that put him there for just such a lesson as this. Maybe. Matthew 10:29 tells us, "Are not 2 sparrows sold for a farthing, and one of them shall not fall on the ground without your Father? But the very hairs of your head are all numbered. Fear ye not, therefore, you are of more value than many sparrows."